You know, it's like people should go to jail for fraud. Because that's what you need to do, is be able to tell the truth when you come to court. Instead of just, you know, making a report, giving it to CPS. And then CPS shows us some of the report. But then at the same time, it's like, this is not true. And I can prove that this person is not telling the truth. And then CPS will like turn a deaf ear to everything. And then they'll just keep dragging it through and waste more taxpayers' dollars. Well, anyway, here's a picture of my daughter, and they have her in the white division. They didn't even consider her being African American, quote unquote. Here's a picture of her. Look at those blue eyes. Look at that blonde hair. I think that's the reason the harassment got started, was when they took one look at her, and they look at me and they're just like, huh, and they just start scratching their head. And the only thing I know is when my daughter popped out, they both looked at my daughter, they looked at me, and then both doctors looked at each other, and after that I didn't see them until I saw them in a restraining order court. They said they're afraid that I'm gonna hurt them, that they're fearful of their lives. And it's like, wow, you know, somebody who's never been to jail, somebody who's never walked up and started a fight, and I don't even have a record, but at the same time, why do you think I'm going to hurt you? I've just been trying to talk to these people and trying to find out, why won't you leave us alone? Why don't you go away? Why don't you take your friends with you? Here's a picture of my son, one more time. This is the one they want. See, they got him. But see, the thing is, my son is very, very active little boy. He had 2 schools going on for him when they took him away, because his life changes and fluctuates. And the only thing I ever cared about applying to my kids was education. That's all I cared about, was education. But if you're telling me I can't put my kids in camp programs, that means they would have been gone for maybe 6 weeks. And CPS is telling me, no, you got to turn down that grant you got for your kids. So you can't send your kids away, because we need to be at your house each and every day, okay? My kids have a hard time learning. I wanted them to learn. That's why I have them in the programs, because it gives them joy and happiness. My son likes lots of different activities, which I applied to his life that gave him joy. I mean, come on, who, as a little boy, you're learning, you're going out, you're doing activities, you're keeping yourself busy, you're using up that energy, and you're having fun. And that's what I did for both my kids. And CPS is telling me, well, you need to be home at this time, and you can't send your kids off to full-time programs, because we'll come in and we'll take your child anyway. And I'm thinking to myself, that is like totally, totally unfair. I wanted my kids to learn. That's the reason I had all the programs lined up for them. That's why I applied for all the grants, because I wanted them to have continuous education applied towards both of them. And they wouldn't allow that. But anyway, the first foster home, my children are in Richland. I live in Seattle. I live downtown Seattle. My kids are in Richland, which is Pasco. That's 325 miles away from where we live. When I first went to court, this judge had said to CPS, do not take the kids out of Seattle, Washington. Her quote, unquote, do not take them out of this jurisdiction. And you know what? They did it anyway. Roberta Chiles, who works for CPS, she did it anyway. Is there any consequences to pay? Zip. Nada. Nothing. We have to jump on a plane to go see our kids. First, we drove my car, which blew up. After 295 miles, my car just blew up. Okay. And I think to myself, my God, you know, if my kids would have just been somewhere in this area code, or maybe, you know, 50, 60 miles away, my car wouldn't have blown up and completely just went castadal, completely just done, over with, out of the way, unrepairable, okay? So the next time we went, we took the bus, and out to that way. We took this bus. It took us 5.5 hours to get there for a 2-hour visit, okay? And then we had to take the bus to go back home. So that took another 5.5 hours plus another 1.5 hours of waiting around. So by the time a 2-hour visit would be finished, we're spending 14 hours total just for a 2-hour visit. We were doing that twice a month. Twice a month, okay? And of course they reimbursed us, you know, because we had to take a taxi from the bus station to where the kids were at, and then taxi from where the kids at back to the bus station. Okay, you're still looking at $300 roughly just for a visit. Now, if they would have lived over here in our vicinity, I could jump on a bus. What, $2, $4 total just to visit our kids, be where we're going to be at in about, what, 20 minutes, half an hour away from our home. Well, the judge seems like she doesn't care. It's like, okay, you can do anything you want, CPS. And I'm not going to hold anything against you. You can do anything you want, period. And I'm supposed to respect these people? Let me tell you something about CASA. Her name is Carol Thomas. She only visited my kids one time in 1 year. One visit. Now, when we were talking about keeping our kids and trying to do whatever these people wanted, they said they were going to come by my house 3-4 times a week. That's CASA. Okay? CPS said they're going to visit every day, 4 to 5 times a week, okay? So that's 20 times a month having people that you don't want in your life in your house, okay? Now, my children move all the way out to Pasco, which is out in Richland. CASA worker visit the kids one time in a year, one time. Then she abandons my kids. But yet, in her report, she's just so worried and concerned. But at the same time, you dump my kids, okay? But it's okay for people to abandon, jump ship, leave the case, have nothing to do with the kids. Here's another picture of my little boy. I can see why they want him, because he's so beautiful. But you know what? I told them point blank, he's used to activity. He's used to doing lots of things. The first foster family, guess what? They lost custody of their own kids and my kids as well. But yet, they were supposed to be more qualified than we were, but they lost custody of their own kids along with mine, but yet they were supposed to be better. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing that really hurts the most, is having people tell you that other people are better, but yet they turn around and make those mistakes and, you know, and are incompetent, even though they have college educations and they've got degrees, you know, because we were told that they're going to live a much better life. But at the same time, my children are not getting the activities that they're used to getting. It's like my daughter, she loves to dance. She loves being like a little ballerina. I say, are you playing her music? I can't even get a simple answer from the foster family. Are you playing her music every day? Is she at the park every day? Is she, because summertime, yeah, at the park every day until she's really sick of it. And you know, you come home from school, you eat a meal, you do your homework, and then if you want to go to the park, down for it. If you want to go to the museum, you're down for it. But it's like, they're not getting the activities that they need to do, and they don't get as much education applied to them. But at the same time, they're telling me, oh, they're just going to school 20 hours a week each. I'm thinking to myself, that's a joke. That is a real joke. But yet they're